Wagwan shorties and mans, today we're back with another review today, and we're reviewing the all-new 2023 Toyota Tundra Limited in pearl white. And my oh my, is it a big truck. It has a big, not black, but kind of looks black, looks like space gray grille, made out of plastic, which is pretty decent. It has a big Toyota logo, which is the size of my hand, and the car looks big, beefy, and angry with these nice laser headlights by Toyota. Not much has changed from 2022 to 2023, but I can tell you, this car is meant to stand out. So everyone on the road knows that you're driving the Tundra of town. Opening up the hood, my oh my, this engine is huge. And the reason for having such a big engine is because you're doing heavy duty stuff with this truck. The engine is a 3.5 liter twin turbo 10-speed automatic transmission, producing over 389 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque, with a max tow capacity of 11,179 pounds, which is insane because you know what? You're driving a huge truck. Why should it not do that? You know, you're not your average Joe. You're a big guy, a big baller, making big baller moves with this Toyota Tundra. Moving on to the side of the truck. My oh my, the truck is so big. It's taller than me. What the hell? And you know what? To make a truck that tall, to make a truck, support that weight, because it is a humongous truck, you need 20-inch alloy wheels. They look pretty nice. They look industrial. It looks like it was made in a factory. It looks like it's for your average, construction workers that's working at Acon or something. But it's pretty good because this truck is meant for heavy duty hauling. It's not meant for sports or anything like that. But if you did get that truck for that reason, you can always swap it out, but it'll cost some dough because the wheels are 20 inches and 20-inch rims do cost some heavy money, I believe. So moving on, look at this. Once you lock the car, your side mirrors fold in automatically, and to pull it back out, you guys see where I'm taking this. You pull out your big rambunctious keys for this all new Tundra, and then watch what happens. I click unlock, automatically opens up, and the side mirrors are humongous. If you compare it to my head, we're basically about the same size, basically, because you are driving the Tundra of town. And it's such a big truck because if you don't have big, mirrors like that, you're not going to get coverage in the back. Because last thing you want to do is driving a big payload of a trailer and you don't have good visual in the back. And next thing you know, you send a small Honda Civic hatchback into a ditch. That's why you have big mirrors, and that is why you need those big mirrors in a car. Since this truck is a Crewmax, you have 4 big doors with a big Tundra badge on the side made out of chrome. I'm not a fan of chrome, but it does make the car look nice because you have chrome handles here, and if you put your hand in those handles, the truck unlocks, the mirror opens up, and it looks pretty decent. You have some nice tinted windows. Once I put my leg here, you can see that you have good clearance from the ground up, because although this car is not an off-road vehicle, you can still treat it like one. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I mean, you could do it. You could basically do it. Now moving on to the back, the money taker of the car. You have a big gas intake because it is a 122 liter tank that takes about, on average, $195 to fill up 0 to 122 liters at an average cost of $1.60 per liter Canadian, which kind of sucks. But this car is pretty decent on its fuel consumption because it takes on average 10.5 liters per 100 kilometers on highway driving and about 12.5 in city driving. I'll quickly fact check down here because that kind of sounds a bit too impressive to be real. But one thing I did notice about this car is when you do fill up, you got to make sure that you close the cap properly because you don't have a Honda Civic premium car, right? Which is capless entry. You have to come in with a cap with this. So you unlock it like that. Easy to take out. you can put your cap right here, like that. When you're filling up, wait, I think I got it, like that, just like that. So you walk up, you put your cap here so you don't scuff up your paint, put the handle in, and then you look at your money go away just like that. You take it out, you put your cap back in, and you just gotta keep twirling it until you hear a click. Wait, there you go. You gotta make that tick happen to, close your cap. If you don't do that, God knows what's gonna happen. All right, now moving on to the main area of the truck, the bread and butter. You use your right hand, you put your finger on the side, you hit that, it automatically opens up. Now here's the thing, Toyota knows that us 21st century people have gotten lazy. They have nothing here to pull out a nice step and a handle so you can put your foot on there and step into the truck. Unfortunately, they don't have that. Nor do they have a button anywhere around here to close the truck. You gotta do a nice tricep workout. 1, 2, 3. Now getting over to the nitty-gritty part of the bed. Me laying down at 5'10", I'm barely getting out the bed right now, which is pretty awesome because the length of the bed is 5.5 feet. So that means you can lay down a couple of humans who are the height of 5.5 feet here. The height of the bed is 20.9 inches, which is pretty awesome. And then the max width of the bed is 58.7 inches. And with the wheels here, now here, it becomes 48 inches, which is still pretty decent space. And you don't have to worry about damaging your paint because you do have your bed lined up in spray and bed liner. So basically, if you want your kids to throw pebbles at your truck within the bed, you can have them do it and not have to worry about it. Now moving on to the other features of the bed, you can treat it as a bed if you wanted to. And if you want a night light, you get 2 lights over here. One over here, one over here. You also have a 400 watt AC charging port here. It's 120 AC or 400 watts for maximum output. And you have a big backlight here. So if you're camping and you want to have a bunch of light or luminescence everywhere in your campground, you can turn that on from inside your vehicle and light up whatever's back here. So it's a pretty versatile back, wouldn't you say? Now jumping into the back, from the back roll down window, which is pretty awesome. You can basically hop in and out whenever you want. The seats back here have a nice design pattern on them. Look at how nice that looks. It looks like a hexagonal pattern, but it's not a hexagon. It's basically like it looks like stripes. So one stripe going up like that, one stripe going down, and one stripe going up like that. And it has a white background with black seats, which looks pretty awesome. I'm not complaining. It's a decent car for a decent person driving this. If you put your finger here through here, you can pull this down and reveal a nice armrest and some cup holders, which have a nice hexagonal pattern to it, which is pretty awesome. A lot of trucks, they don't have this because, they're not premium like the Tundra. To reveal more storage back here, what you can do is pull this lever. My cameraman, please do the honors. You pull that lever and you have some nice storage here. And it looks like you have your spare tire kit back here too. So that's pretty awesome. You have more space back here. You can push back both of these seats by, doing the same thing like this. And look at that. You can easily pull it back and then you're basically good. Now, if you do want to come back in from here, you can come back down. And oh my, the seats are so comfy. You can easily lay down back here because it's a soft leather and they're comfy, but unfortunately, the back seats do not get heated seats or cooled seats like the front 2 seats do get. But what I can tell you, it's very spacious back here. And if you are about to run out of charge, you can basically just get up. Underneath your 2 cup holders for the back, you have a nice storage area, 2 air vents, and you have one USB Type-C and one regular USB charging port. And if you're a person that doesn't believe in cables, you can also pull out your brick and plug it into here, which is decent. You just gotta plug it in and you're good. And sitting down here, you're chilling like an executive. You're chilling back here. The ride is comfy. You're enjoying a nice panoramic sunroof, and you can look outside, look inside, and you're greeted by beauty of the car. And unlike the Honda Civic, you have a nice storage back here behind the driver's seat, and another nice storage back here behind the next driver's seat. And then once you keep moving on to the door, you have a nice fake aluminum plastic handle right here to open the door. Automatic windows. Some nice storage down here. 2 cup holders down here, which you can put a water bottle. I wouldn't recommend that you put any coffee down there. And if you do have a nice donut and you want to chow down on it, you can also fit it down in there. You have a nice speaker, another nice speaker, and this exact same layout carries on through to the left side of the car. Now you got to move back, and my cameraman is going to do the honors of pulling this handle to reveal more storage. And look at that. You can stick it up here, let go of it, and it sticks up. You put your storage down here, whatever you have, and you have nice storage. And this seat can also go up too, which is pretty decent. And if you want to bring it down, all you got to do is, I think you got to pull this again. And then basically, we're having some technical difficulties doing this. Oh, there you go. And you can just slide it down here. But let me tell you one thing. Doing this whole mechanical maneuver, sitting down in the back here, it is so comfortable that I don't know if the driver's side and the passenger side of the driver's side is going to do any better than this, because this is actually comfy. It feels like I'm sitting on a pillow. When I pull this up, when I pull it down, it feels like I'm, using a pillow. So I'm really impressed with this car. And let me show you how versatile and spacious this car is by jumping to the front. Now moving on to the passenger princess side of the car. You're a princess, and you know what you get? You get a copy and paste to the rear door. It's a similar design, 2 water bottles, nice automatic window, nice plastic door handle, and just 1 speaker down here. You come over, same seats here, automatic though. It's not a Honda Civic, right? You can do all that fun stuff. You can also play around with your lumbars, which is pretty decent. You move on to the front over here. You have a big air vent. And then once you jump in, the seats are so nice and comfortable. I kid you not. And you get a nice big tablet display right in the center with a nice wireless charger down here. And it's really decent. Some storage here. It's like a shelf. You have your books down there, everything else on top, and really decent back here. Nice handle, nice shade to check out yourself while you're driving the car, or being a passenger princess, of course. And if you pull it out, you can get some more shade, and you can pull out the visor like that, which is really, really awesome, because a lot of cars, they don't do that. And for a truck, you have a big window, so you kind of need that. Now jumping into the truck, you have another copy and paste of the doors in the rear, but the only difference is you also get your mirror adjustment tools here, your window lock buttons, unlock door, lock door buttons, and then you also get memory seat controls here. So let's say I have one driver, their seats are set to a particular level. You click on that, it'll move it into that. If you go to driver 2, it'll set it to something else. And if you want to set it to another driver, you can hit that button and set up a new driver. But once you do over 2, you'll lose one of the drivers, unfortunately. You look at the steering wheel, it's nice. It looks like it's made out of a composite material, but it's not leather, but it feels like it's leather. So it's good, because once you're working out in the fields, you do not want to come back with dirty, oily, muddy hands, touch your steering wheel, and wreck your leather. This material here, I would assume, is meant for taking a beating, so you can clean it up easily and move on with life and not have to cry about it because your boy is at the oil field, they don't want to see a grown man crying. They want to see a grown man drinking beer with them at night. Am I right? Comment that in the description if I'm correct on that assumption. You have a nice horn. It sounds like a car horn. I was expecting a train horn. It's pretty good. So coming over to the driver's side, you have your steering wheel here. To the right side, you have your adaptive and lane departure toolkit here, or buttons I mean. And then moving on to your left, you have your infotainment controls such as volume and speaking to your car. So if you hit that button, put on 103.5.
Tuning to 103.5 FM.
Look at that. That's awesome. And if you want to turn it up, you can use these buttons to turn up the volume. Unfortunately, you have an analog gauge cluster, which sucks for a 2023 model. But it's okay. I wish it was fully digital, but it is what it is. If you're fine with that, I would go for this car. To your left, you have your indicator, your automatic headlights. To your right, you have your automatic windshield wipers. Moving down to the left side, you have a bunch of more buttons here, such as your tail light, automatic high beams, engine on off, your brightness controls for your gauge cluster, setting an odometer trip, and I'm not sure what this button does, so if someone can comment what it does, that'd be awesome. With this button, you can control your headlights. So should they be pointing up? Should they be pointing down? Where should they be pointing? So you can control that. You have your heated steering wheel here. It's a pretty odd area to place your heated steering wheel, but I guess it's fine. And then you have the button to turn on your 120 volt AC charging outlet. To the right side, you have your trailer brake, and then you have your engine on off button. Coming to the center of the vehicle, you have a nice big infotainment system here, and it looks just like a tablet. You have wireless Apple and Android CarPlay, which is really awesome. And let me tell you one thing, this feels just like an iPad. It's smooth, the UI is amazing, and the texture of the screen is awesome. It feels like you're touching your phone. You don't have to push it onto it. You don't have to do anything fancy. It works. Talking more about the normal view outside of Apple CarPlay, it's pretty awesome. You got a nice map, and it works. It's really versatile. You can play your music. You have your radio here. You can select from different stations on Sirius. So this is Sirius XM. You have to pay for it. And if you were to jump out, you can jump into your radio, and then you have 103.5, 104.5, and all other radio stations. Or you can search it up based off of its genre, such as classic, classical, country, global, hits, jazz, news, and so on and so forth. If you hit your phone button here on the left side, it'll basically ask you to go into Apple CarPlay. You go down, you can find your trip information. It'll tell you your current average speed, your trip range, your trip duration, and how much gas you've been consuming. And you can also clear that data out. If you look at your history, average we've been spending on gas is 17.3 per 100 kilometers. And since this car is new, it doesn't have much history. We can also check out any vehicle alerts. And the good thing about this infotainment is it's really simple to use. There's not much going on here. It's really nicely, set up for you. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 menus, and you can basically play around with, your settings, software updates, devices that are connected. It's a really intuitive, feature that this car has. You have nothing to worry about. You can be driving, you don't have to go through many options to get to a particular page. And if you want to jump back into Apple CarPlay, you just got to hit that button and you're back in Apple CarPlay. So you know what, overall this is really awesome, and I am kicking it. You look down, you have a big volume rocker. You look to your right, you have your heated and cooled seats. You have your fan settings here. You can turn on your front fans with this button. This is heated mirrors and side mirrors. Your AC button to keep the air recirculating in your car button. To pull fresh air in from outside button. You push this up, you can turn up the temperature. Push it down, you can turn it down. Then you have your modes here where the air should be blowing at you. you have your sync button here. So if I were to push this down, and I can change my temperature for one side only. But let's say I want to sync it again. I just got to push it down and both them turn into 22. But now let's say I want to turn up the heat. You see both them are working together. You move over, you have your fan speed, and then you move over here, you have your auto. So basically if you set it to 20 degrees, the car is gonna automatically keep it at 20 degrees. You move down, you have your hold button. So let's say you come to a stoplight, then the car holds the brakes for you. You have your parking brake here and a nice beefy shifter. Underneath that, you have your differentials. So you have 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. And then if you're towing someone, you just gotta hit this button. Right over here, you have 2 beefy cup holders, which is really nice. There is a lot of storage in this car, such as when moving to the center console, we can pull this open and we have storage down here. You can also put your Twinkies here if you have Twinkies, and you can put Doritos here if you have Doritos. Or let's say you have nothing here and you want to open up the whole thing, you just got to hit this button here. It's like a hidden button, and there you go. You have opened up a whole mess of things that you keep down there. The awesome thing is you get a regular USB here, and you get a USB Type-C and some change cubbies, you can call it. And to use wired Apple CarPlay, all you got to do is plug in your USB stick over here. So it's a really functional interior that we have in the car here, which is really awesome. Now we're driving the Tundra Limited Edition, and my, oh my, it feels like I'm the king of the road. I am sitting up so high, we're hitting so many bumps, but you don't feel anything. This truck is big, wide, it feels like I'm on the same level of tractor trailers driving on the street, and the truck is quiet, it's comfy, and you don't feel much. While driving the car, we have 3 modes. Right now we're in eco mode. Eco mode is supposed to take less gas, but now let's put it into regular mode. We have this, knob right here. So if you hit that knob, we're in normal mode now. Pick up in normal mode, you feel that kick. It picks up just like that. The car pushes you back and it gets going. I was at 40 kilometers there, got up to 70, which is the speed limit of the road, 70 kilometers within a couple of seconds. So it's a nice car. If you need the power, you just gotta push it down and the car starts moving. So now we're gonna try with sport mode by twisting this knob to the right one more time, and now we're in sport. Nothing really changes in the steering settings. The steering is kind of loose. It's not too heavy, and that's what you expect from this because the steering has to be loose. It's a big truck. You cannot have it be too tight. It cannot be too aggressive, right? It's a big truck. It needs to be comfortable for the rider. So I got nothing to complain about that. But in sport mode, it's whatever. So now let's push it down. In sport mode, the biggest thing about sport mode for a non-performance truck or vehicle is that it basically pushes your RPM to the red line so you can get more horsepower and more pound-feet of torque to maximize that. You can get that in any mode, but sport mode is just built in that way so you can, feel it a bit more. And when the car does, push against you, the car, makes you push back and you feel more of the car while you're driving the truck, which is amazing, right? Would I drive this in sport mode all the time? Would I drive this in sport mode for the thrill? If I want to feel the car a bit more, maybe yeah. But most of my driving will probably be done in normal mode, because in normal mode, it's a nice mix between, getting that power, getting that delivery to the road, and just driving comfortably, which is really awesome. And that's what you're looking for. So as you're driving this, you got no complaints. You're just driving and driving and driving as far as the road can see, and looking down at your gas gauge because you're pushing gas because it's a really heavy vehicle. This is the all-new 2023 Tundra Limited that comes for $69,529.50 Canadian dollars. It's a heavy price tag, but the car is heavy duty. It can do a lot of stuff for you. It is versatile. It can carry heavy loads for you. It is made out of rugged materials, so you can abuse it and still have the car looking good. So overall, I'm liking the technology in it. I'm liking the features of it, the safety features, the space, the storage, and all things about the styling. It's a really good truck. In my opinion, it's an 8 out of 10. It would have been better if the gauge cluster was digital and not analog. That's the only thing that sucks about this car. So that's my review for the all-new Tundra. So subscribe for more car content and let me know how I did. And if you did find any mistakes in the video, let me know, because we need to correct them. And before some American goes off on me saying, hey dude, man, it's not twin turbo, it's 150 horsepower or anything like that, this truck is a Canadian truck. It's not American. So if this truck is better than American trucks, then you may want to come to Canada and import it. But I can't guarantee you that you're not gonna have to pay double taxes, like at the border and everything, and get it recertified or whatnot. But that's how it is. That's the state of affairs here. And if you haven't checked it out, check out my Honda Civic car review by clicking over here.